Greetings, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 here of This Bloody Garden. I am Patrick, your storyteller for this evening. Before we begin, Vampire is a game of personal, political, and supernatural horror. This show may contain physical and psychological violence, intense social conflict, gaslighting, loss of character agency, and depictions of many other triggering activities. Furthermore, as this is a game that focuses on the Bahari, extra care and consideration for gender identity and sexual orientation, both in and out of game, is of the utmost importance. If at any time you feel uncomfortable and need to step away, we understand and will be waiting for you with open arms for your return. We have discussed table consent and have implemented the standard red and yellow card system in our Zoom chat, and we will stop and redirect play if necessary. And before we dive in, let's go ahead and say hi to everybody, starting with Rose.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rose. I'm going to be playing Erika Todd, and she is Clan Ventru. And yeah, we're going to see what happens after last episode.
And next up is Ben.
My name is Ben, and I'm playing the ghoul Mort Lambert.
And Sarah.
Hi, my name is Sarah. I'll be playing Doriana Ivory, the Toreador.
And finally, Sam.
Hi, I'm Samantha McLarty, and I'm going to be playing Minerva, the Hakata.
And Mother Wren will be joining us next episode, so everyone can look forward to that here. Just kind of gracing everyone with the preamble. But anyways, let's go ahead and dive in. The Bahari are just like any other kindred. They're torn between preserving what remains of their humanity and indulging in their baser, more undead natures. In some ways, however, with the Bahari, their devotion to Lilith actually jeopardizes the struggle between the human side and the more undead, beastly side. And their faith demands a liberal application of blood and pain to keep the gardens growing, which doesn't help matters any. Navigating this moral quicksand is even more difficult for ghouls, because they not only have their master's dark desires to attend to, but they also have their own biological and personal needs to see to. If a ghoul is lucky, their master grants them this freedom. Other times, they're nothing more than thoughtless tools going about the motions of their daily life, fully under the sway of their dom. Now, we pick back up with our garden having returned to their domain, awaiting the faithful return of Mort and Kristy, a now unbound ghoul who escaped the bloodshed wrought by the Laka. They have choices to make. Some easy, some more difficult than others. Let's just see how the garden is faring, waiting for Mort's return. Now, the Laka, I think, have taken a moment to freshen up. Killing a member of the Church of Set was bloody work. And I think everyone might need a little bit of extra time, maybe Erika in particular, to reflect on the night's activities, because this was Erika's first time taking a mortal life. And how is Mistress Todd rationalizing what she did a few hours ago?
There needed to be no witnesses. And he was one who was there. I wasn't sure what he would have seen, what he saw, but she's in a frenzy of panic and trying to figure out what to do. She did what was necessary to keep the garden safe and make sure nobody was going to try and jeopardize that.
So you killed a, we'll say, relatively innocent person to protect your sisters.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll make a note of that. We'll file that away for later because we never did resolve those stains last session.
We did not.
No, we might have to touch on that upon the next sunrise, maybe. So, Erika, you're in your personal chambers, kind of freshening up. Where did Dory end up at once you returned?
She probably went straight back to her private quarters. I think she's feeling quite a lot of different emotions. I think part of her is probably embarrassed because she pretty clearly lost control. And there is that part of her that wants to be in complete control of the beast. So I think there's some embarrassment. You know, her clothes are probably ruined, some of them at least, that she had. Everything she has is expensive, and so she's probably not happy about that. She's fretting about Mort, but she knows what she needs to do to center herself. So she probably will light some candles and kind of do a little bit of a cleansing, her own version of cleansing with some Palo Santo just around her, sort of letting that smoke sort of needle her again. Okay. And I think she does a 3-card tarot spread.
Why don't you go ahead and give me a composure and occult roll, please?
Sure.
Or resolve. Actually, resolve and occult would make more sense. Resolve and occult, please.
Okay, that's fine. I have my hunger at 1. Okay, I just wanted to make... I think that's correct.
Yep. And this is still the same night, so there will be no rouse checks right now to start off the session.
I got 2.
You get the sense that, you know, maybe the mother would forgive you the slight. You were carrying out her will, of course. You could probably... I'll say that for the rest of this session, you've got 1 extra willpower that you can burn because of your ritual and trying to center yourself. So
okay, I am not going to say no to that.
We'll say one temporary willpower that's only good this session.
Okay, I have noted that.
Mm-hmm.
But she takes her off. She takes off all of the blood stained clothes. She fixes her makeup. She probably remains like naked and feeling that I'm hoping the floor is made of stone because I love the cold feet on the cold floor. Mm-hmm. So she's probably just standing there and sort of almost trying to hear the Dark Mother to get some kind of reassurance that she had done the right thing.
Okay.
And in her tarot spread, the middle card for the present day, the present moment, she pulls justice.
Okay. So, there we are with the. So that's not the Rider-Waite design. Nope.
No, this is from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. It's all like contemporary, diverse figures.
I dig that. I really like that.
So.
And yes, there's a resounding want in the Zoom chat.
Oh, I'll link you up, baby. Don't worry.
Want.
What did Minerva do when you all returned back to the garden? What's Minerva's decompression?
She goes back to her basement. And she is probably preparing, getting some rituals prepared for whatever comes next. Preparing for when Mort does bring Kristy back. Mm-hmm. She has a plan for that. And yeah, that's what she does. She essentially dives into her rituals and such when she's decompressing. Her diablerie of Marty, to her, that wasn't anything bad. It was a necessity for him to die. Mm-hmm. And it, in her thought, if his death can at least amount to something that would help Lilith and them continue on with what they have to do, then so be it. That's the best way to do it. It shouldn't be a useless death. So. Mm-hmm.
And because the mother has thoughts on the matter, no death should be worthless. There is every death, every sacrifice to the mother needs to mean something. Wanton slaughter is anathema to the Bahari.
In this particular instance, she took a power that she didn't have from him, which will help them in their coming missions or battles.
Is there any thought maybe in the back of your head over you and your sister getting into that tug of war over Martinius?
I don't think so. I don't think that, honestly, I'm not entirely sure that she would have really paid much mind to there being said tug of war. It was something that they were both working to do, and whoever came out of it,
was going to. I gotcha.
Right.
Like okay.
So yeah, it to her it wouldn't have mattered who had finished and who had not. Yeah. Essentially.
Okay. And I have stated before that I would be taking stops into everyone's head just so everyone can out in the audience has the best opportunity possible to really get their teeth into the character motivations going forward. Now the ladies are going about their nightly routines as far as trying to get back in touch with themselves after what was a swift and brutal attack. Now, Mort, you've been driving around with this hysterical, we'll say very imbalanced, now unbound ghoul. You've never processed the breaking of a bond. Dory has always been in your life as far as, we'll say, your recent history. And you definitely have a very, very strong, bond to your dom, as we've seen. You can feel what she feels sometimes through the connection. You don't know what it would be like if she died and that bond was separated, but you are seeing how one individual is coping, and she is not having a very good night. Kristy has alternated between rambling incoherently about what she's going to do to get the red stuff, to crying incoherently about how much she misses and hates Marty. You get the sense that Marty wasn't a very kind dom to this woman. You being a ghoul to Alaka, there's a certain emotional edge to your relationship with Dory. And you can see that there was something there as well, maybe that Marty had initially built upon, preyed upon. You are within a few blocks of the garden. Maybe you send a text off to Dory to let her know that you're getting near.
Yeah.
And we're gonna focus in here inside the van. So you're driving back. You've sent your text. Kristy's makeup is a complete ruin on her face. She's just finished her most recent bout of crying, but her face is beet red. The muscles in her face are drawn hard and tight. There's a stern edge to her now. I can't believe that fucker's dead. Your people did that? They were they the ones who did that?
I mean, who knows? Probably. I don't know what happened in there.
I mean, I know what I saw. They were monsters. You're not gonna give me to them, are you?
Listen, we have to go back to our place. We have to go back to the garden. I don't know what's gonna happen there, but the safest place for you will be the garden.
You can just let me go. You can just stop the car and you can just let me go. And I'll make my own way. I know some of Marty's friends. I'm sure I can get a fix.
No, I can't do that.
But why?
Let's just go inside.
And you stop the car. You open the door. What's going through your head right now, Mort?
I can't let her go. She's called us monsters. She's identified us. She's even said she's gonna go to Marty's friends. At this point, we can't let her go. She's a loose end. She's a firecracker. But I can't tell her that. Everything she said is only confirmed that if I let her out of here, she's gonna come back to our place with people that knew Marty.
She wordlessly gets out of the van. You close the door. She's not making a scene. She's going to enter the garden willingly. And you open the front doors and you let her in. Now, as far as the Laka goes, where all would you gather before Mort arrives?
I figured we'd be like potentially in that lounge where is the place that we usually congregate, where we can see the tree that was planted.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
I would probably. I would say that I'll be in the lounge as well, and I have my medical bag with me. I have my bag, and I am probably standing against the door or like the entrance, whichever one that they would come through.
Mm-hmm.
And I am probably right against there, just propped up, waiting.
Mm-hmm. And Erika, I'm assuming you're joining your sisters in the lounge?
No, she was there first. She is sort of dressed business dumb casual. Fixing up the last of her one red lips. And as she thinks about how we're going to deal with Kristy.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, she screws the top back on, shoves it in like her breast pocket, and goes, "All right, sisters, do we have any ideas of what we're going to do with Kristy? Kristy loose end, if you will."
Are going to give her to the wolves. Let them sort it out.
Chances are they might let her go.
And Dory sort of is hearing this, and she's smiling to herself. And with her to the lounge, she's brought a pack of makeup remover wipes. And she takes one out. She bites down on her wrist, lets one or two nice fat drops fall on the wipe, smears it across the wipe, and then arranges it back in the makeup remover thing that has kind of that sticky top that you can put them back in there.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks back up after she's done that. Just a little insurance. She can go back to the other sisters. We'll have a few nights pass. In some way we can keep in touch with perhaps Mother Thorn or one of them. And if they tell us she's escaped, they've let her go, whatever, she's causing problems, whatever the case may be, I'll take my gold inlaid dagger and she will hear Dagon's call and be ruptured from within. Even it's painful for anyone. The closer to Kine you are, the worse it will be. And she will suffer and hopefully die if she steps out of line. So we can give her to the wolves. But it won't be without a backup.
And that is when you hear the van pull up. You hear Mort opening and closing the passenger door. You hear them approaching the front.
As he's doing that, like as soon as I hear the van pull up, I'm undoing the clasp on my bag. I have something prepared.
Okay. Mort.
Erika's just gonna lean back comfortably on whatever divan that she was sitting on.
Mort, you open the door. Kristy's taking one last moment of hesitation, seeing Erika laid out. Where's Dory at?
I think she sort of like wants to be like the first person that she sees, possibly, or like kind of the closest to where Mort would be ushering her in.
Okay, so I'm thinking Erika just a few feet, or I mean, Dory just a few feet in front of the door. Minerva, you're, like I said, or like you said, tucked off to the side, and like maybe just over Dory's right shoulder, you can see Erika just kind of. Yep, I'm loving this look, but the door opens. And Kristy, in her bartender's uniform and her destroyed makeup, sees Dory standing there, and she just stops in her tracks, and you can start to see her want to start crying.
Has she walked through the door yet, like past me?
No.
No? Okay.
Don't kill me!
So beforehand, in order to put her like on the way to there, I've been like, the sisters are not monsters.
And she's filing that away, and whatever she takes and does with that information, that's on her. But so yeah, she's standing there. Please don't kill me.
Right. And Dory, if Erika and Minerva, and maybe even more if he's looking at Dory, she kind of shifts from that kind of gleeful, predatory mood into this sort of like warmer demeanor. And she sort of looks at Kristy up and down, and she says, "My poor darling, you must be so scared. It's all right. It's all right." And Dory will hold out her hand.
Give me a charisma and persuasion, or manipulation and performance, whichever one of those two is higher.
Oh, I'm gonna do manipulation and performance.
And Kristy,
I have also
go ahead.
palmed something in my hand.
Okay. Kristy, she's got all of 3 dice to resist, so you could probably take half and probably win here, Dory. I've got 2 successes for Kristy.
I'll go ahead and use that temporary willpower that you gave me.
Okay. All right.
You should have taken half. You should have taken the half.
She's firing for effect.
Yeah, I was hoping, but the dice were not on my side. I did get 3 though.
There's still a part of her that knows that this is a trick, but that's her lizard brain talking. Most of her just wants this night to be over, and this is just another progression in tonight's fucked up chain of events. And she crosses through the threshold, and I'm assuming
the moment
Minerva
that she crosses, I have a cloth soaked in chloroform, and it's going around her face.
Give me
from behind.
Give me a dex and brawl, or dex and athletics.
Absolutely.
Whichever one of those is higher. This isn't an actual like fight. This is kind of a
2 crits and 1 success.
Okay. She was going to be surprised by this anyway, so she's not going to roll to resist. But Minerva slides in behind her almost silently and And there's a moment Minerva, you can feel a moment of tension as you get your grip on her. And then there's the sweet release of the ether. And she slumps forward in your arms, lightly breathing.
I'm going to start dragging her over to, I guess, the sofa next to, or whatever chair is next to Erika.
Erika's going to move.
Yeah,
so she kept the spot warm. No, she didn't, because she's dead. Never mind.
And Mort, you barely can process how quickly Minerva just swooped in. You were the Judas goat, leading her to the down the chute, and I don't know, maybe part of you wasn't expecting Minerva to be right there, but you were definitely caught slightly unawares as this corpse-like figure right in front of you and takes care of business.
And I think Dory will kind of move Kristy kind of into a somewhat sitting, somewhat kind of leaning back position on this chair. And she kind of looks at Minerva like, oh, you're no fun. Just and just kind of but she'll eventually just kind of nod to her. And then, she was like, and then I'll kind of wonder, but she's like, oh, I thought I was being so clever. And she then just kind of then bites down with her fang onto her tongue, sticks her thumb in her mouth to get a nice helping of blood, and she just exposes Kristy's inside of her wrist and just smears her blood on the inside of her skin, and then sort of rubs it away, though not a lot of saliva to do that. I guess I'm just thinking about that. But kind of just tries to blend it into the skin. I'm sure she's got other blood on her, so who cares? Yeah.
Dory doing what she needs to do to get what she needs done. So Kristy's laying there breathing lightly. There never really was any game plan as far as how to get back in contact with the wolves, other than they knew when the deed would be done and they would take care of the rest.
Because we got in contact with them because Mother Wren was the intermediary originally.
Yes.
Okay, so that does pose an interesting problem.
Minerva's intention was literally just to let Kristy go on their land and let them handle the rest.
Oh yeah, just take her back to the slaughterhouse. Yeah.
I mean, when Erika chimes in, so it was just like, that was better than my idea. I was going to make sure she was wide awake when we stuffed her in the body bag, but this is a better idea.
And Mort is actually caught off guard by that, maybe.
This way, there's less fighting about it. She has no choice.
Not now, anyways.
No struggle.
So Dory will, kind of nod along to that explanation, and then she is going to go to Mort and sort of put her hands on the top of her arms. So cold. Super cold hands. And then she just looks Mort right in the eye. Thank you for bringing her back. What did she say on the ride here?
She said that she knew it was you who did it. She's witnessed everything. She was talking about going to see Marty's
people,
friends, to get her blood fix again. She was obviously going through very emotional distress, and I did my best to try to calm her. And it may not have been enough, but she is in pain.
I can only imagine.
She's not a true believer. She's a junkie who is in pain.
And can you imagine the bond severed in an instant? Acute, cold, sharp pain. Remember that, Mort. I'm sure it was difficult to witness. But these are all lessons on the path. And you're right. I mean, she's still a daughter of Eve after all. Might as well lay down in the dirt. But anyway, we don't need to concern ourselves with her. She'll be offered back to the land of the wolves, and what will be will be. And we have bigger matters to attend to, the spiritual warfare of the city.
From a more pragmatic sense, if she gets out, I fear that she will bring retribution to the garden.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's hard to even imagine such a thing from one such as her, but we'll see to it, and we can move on to the bigger matters at hand.
There is a knock on the front door. No one was expecting anyone to stop by. Business hours, the garden's been closed ever since sundown.
Now's a good time to talk. What is our cover? Are we just like a private property that people go in and out on, or? Well,
the garden has established themselves as sort of it's an artist commune. They think of it like half gift shop, half hostel.
Okay.
But so there's various artists in residence here. The garden takes themselves very seriously as far as like the community outreach is concerned, trying to keep a very presentable face for the local neighborhood. Like they're the artists that Mort basically keeps under his wing during the daytime. They create. There's also random like community service events that all of the artists participate in. So it's very much this is where the misunderstood go to seek the company of other misunderstood. But right now, fucking close, go away.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to activate heightened senses.
Okay.
Hearing.
You open up your senses to the night. You hear the scurrying of mice somewhere deep in the underbrush in the greenhouse itself. You hear a couple of the artists up late talking. You smell the mixture of all of the different herbs and incenses that have been burned over the past several days. And you hear it's shuffling from outside. It sounds like it's just one individual. They are alone. You hear them breathing. You hear a heartbeat. So they are alive.
And Doriana will look at the rest of them. Just one mortal.
You
send them away.
should send him to the door.
I'm one step ahead of you, darling. And she looks at Mort to go attend to the door.
Okay. All right. Mort, you open the front door.
Well, I don't just open the front door.
Yeah.
I take the proper precautions.
Right.
What's going on, guys?
Hello. Outside.
Lead with the chin. Come on.
Shotgun. Outside, you can. You're looking through there. I'm assuming there would be some sort of window, or you can see outside. It's, you get the sense that they're a street person. You don't recognize them as being one of the locals in the neighborhood. But you can tell that they've at least been sleeping rough for a while, if not the better part of the year. They're by themselves. They're a woman. They have a grimy brown manila envelope kind of tucked under their shoulder. They're just waiting patiently to be seen.
I open the door slightly, crack.
You smell several days of unbathed nastiness paired with, cheap hooch. I've got something for you. Are you Mortimer?
I can find Mortimer.
All right. Well,
who are you?
My name's Catherine. I've got a message for your the ladies here.
Okay.
And she hands over, or she holds across the envelope for you, Mort. You'll have to. She will approach the door and hand it to you, through the slit if it's clear that you're not gonna be opening it.
I've got my sense the unseen going just in case. Like if there's any type of branding or anything that
you can't see auras per se, but you do get the sense that this woman here is something more than your basic mortal. You look at her and she's got it's muted. It's very muted, but you get if someone could have electric fire inside them, that's the look that you would get. But like I said, with her, it's muted. She's not a plain Jane mortal, but she's not fully supernatural.
Right. Thank you very much, Catherine. I'll make sure this gets to Mortimer. Okay.
Smells around here. And she turns and she leaves. The manila envelope, like I said, it's grimy. There is there's certain we'll say communal symbols among the Bahari. And actually, yep, there we are. I'm getting out my copy as well. What page is that?
Symbols start on 25
Got
and
it.
they continue through 27 here as seen.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of just codes for kindred, for Lilith, for all manner of things.
Okay, so on the envelope is there's the two Bahari symbols for sacred place, and then superimposed over it there's the branch that you would see for this place must be destroyed. So we've got this right here, visual aid for the class. And then there's this little, this place must be destroyed. But otherwise, there doesn't seem to be any other markings or any strangeness about the envelope. More looking at it with Sense the Unseen, this is just a plain Jane envelope. There's nothing supernaturally sinister about it.
I don't truly know what is and is not possible, but if there's some sort of psychic bomb attached to it, Mort's going to be sensitive to that.
And you would have already set it off in theory anyway. Yeah. But, so Mort, who are you handing the envelope to?
I'll go find Dory.
Okay. So you all, Dory, you especially with your heightened senses could hear the exchange. Okay. But Mort re-enters the lounge bearing this manila envelope.
Dory, Mistress Dory.
Yes.
A very unkempt woman, not from this neighborhood, dropped this off for me to give to you. And I present it. And
go ahead, Pat.
And Mort, you feel a little tickle go up your arm. She had fleas. She had fleas.
If you will excuse me, I will delouse myself.
And you open up the envelope there, Dory, and it is it's a picture of Bishop Yehoshua and their pet Malkavian. It was taken basically, like surveillance style. They weren't aware that they were being photographed. Since they're, that it's Bishop Yehoshua because they're La Sombra, and there's the telltale distortion in the picture. And everyone knows who the fuck Sheriff Ubiera is. It's hard to not know who the crazed psychopath is right now. But you see them gathered in front of a church, talking with several other individuals, and it's nighttime. And on the back of the picture is the address of the church and a date and a time. The date and the time is 3 nights from now, midnight.
And so Dory will look at the pictures, study them for a second, and then, read the date and the address. And then she kind of kind of smacks the picture a little bit, and she shows it first to Minerva and then to Erika. A sacred place.
La Sombra.
Yes. Not the only ones with the powers of the abyss. Looks at Minerva. Now,
Minerva gives you a nod.
Yeah. Now, this is what we've been waiting for. An actionable offensive against the church 3 nights from now, midnight. This is the chance to stick the knife in and twist and begin the rot and the necrosis that will see them. And she smiles, thinking about Mother Wren, laid low. And she sort of she gives the picture to them and like passes it around. Now, my question is, the picture, is there anything notable in that besides the distorted figure of the bishop?
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I did want when you say the pet Malkavian,
Mm-hmm. Sheriff Ubier.
That is the same person.
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to double check Sheriff Ubier. Okay, yeah. That's fine.
Give me one moment here to pull up my notes and I can tell you what exact church this is. We have location research.
Super.
Yes. So, because we did go and we were looking at just as an aside here for the audience, I've got an assistant storyteller who I kind of handed off a list of things like, hey, I need this. Look this up. Find this. And
shout out to Steve.
Yeah, Steve did great work. And that is over here. This is going to be... Here it is. This is actually... this is the Immaculate Conception Church and Rectory. I will be posting a appropriate link in the chat for those of you at home watching, and I will be facilitating that also in our Zoom chat for the players during the intermission. But so this church is well known. This isn't some little corner, podunk church out in the sticks. People go here on the regular to look at the architecture. This does get tourist traffic during the day when the church is open for visitors. The fact that the Church of Cain has wormed their way in this deep into the local power structure could stand to reason that this is big news. And if the Garden wishes to actually destroy the church, as the wolves are suggesting, breaking the masquerade is the least of the Garden's concerns if they wish to go about doing that. I just want to stress this before we start getting Rambo game plans in our heads.
Rambo, such a masculine.
Yeah, Dory's just about to go in there with a Gatling gun.
Yeah, see, I'm thinking something a little bit more feminine on that one.
Right here.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm just gonna point that out. Rambo, really?
Nah, let's go in there all Celine and just take it on.
Mm-hmm.
Kate Beckinsale, Underworld.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So now that we've got this information out, how are we actually going to dispose of Kristy? This is something that's, we have to have a game plan going forward. It's not something as simple as let's just drop her off in Wolf Country. How are we going to go about doing this?
We can prepare a dormitory as some sort of holding area. Mort,
bleed.
I like where this is going.
Madam, are you speaking to me with that request?
Never to you. Make her bleed. Use her blood as we need.
So install her in the basement is what you're saying?
I have a place we can keep Keep her.
Until such time that we can contact the other sisters.
Correct.
Logistically, how are we going to go about this here, Minerva?
Minerva's got a wall of chains. You kidding me?
Okay.
Minerva's got a
knows
wall
what's
of
up.
chains and chloroform for days. It's fine.
Okay. So, I mean, is the garden going to go along? I mean, are we cool stashing a strung out ghoul down in the basement? As long as she's kept properly sedated?
I mean, I don't have a say, but I find it incredibly barbaric.
If Minerva, if sister, you are willing to do this, by all means.
You know, I mean, that is a very secure option, Minerva. And there is merit. However, if you'll hear my suggestion, until such time that we can contact the wolves, Mort, she can stay in your chambers and you can watch her and the bond unravel before your eyes. It will be a great lesson to you.
She must be secured.
Surely you can provide the materials in which to secure her in that room. She'll still be here, secured, sedated for some parts of it, but we can secure her there, just simply not in the basement. You know you'd have too much fun with another one down there.
Fine.
We don't want you to lose your edge. So, Dory looks at Mort. Prepare your chambers. A basic bed. And Minerva will gather the materials to make sure she is secured there so that she cannot escape. And I'd like to hear at least a few screams, but we'll gag her if she gets too loud.
Well,
Thank you,
she
ma'am.
can't be that way during the day.
Minerva starts slinking back like she's going towards her basement. She's gonna go ahead and get the chains.
Basement time.
Take away all my fun, Dory.
What? You know what? Someone's gotta temper it.
Every party has a pooper.
Whatever, I'm fine. I'm a party pooper, that's fine. And Dory will look back at Mort then. I hope you will learn this lesson well. It's been some time since you've seen suffering of that magnitude. And I want you to witness it, internalize it, feel it yourself, hear her screams, see her wild eyes, feel her shaking body. And know that all of this is in service to Lilith.
And Mort, these object lessons to you, they just get more and more fun the longer you roll with Dory. Yeah, go ahead.
So like in Mort's eyes, I know exactly the spirit in which this is coming from. I know that this needs to be like the example where I need to see the pain of a withdrawal, so to speak. And I need to see it. And Mort knows he needs to see it. But he's also very thankful that Kristy is being spared at this time. And there's a little glimmer of hope in him that he can see what she goes through, that he can help her, and that maybe she can become out the other side in service to Lilith. Or that he can see what she goes through to greater appreciate his position. Like, I know it's going to be a hard line. It's going to be a hard path. But this will do nothing but reinforce Mort at this point.
And Mort, of course,
he has a heart for her.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what business we're in. I know what's going on. I can read the letters. I can read the symbols. I know what we do. But for the grace of Lilith, there go I, you know?
Yep. And
so I need to know what this is. I need to know what it looks like. I need to know that this is all in for Lilith. And so I need to see what this is. In Mort's mind, to simply end her, to simply get rid of her, is short-sighted.
And Mort's forward thinking, we'll see if that pays off. Because it's still a long time between now and, you know, the in theory raid on the Church of Cain.
And you know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But
but Mort's got a little bit of a pet project on his hands here over the next few days.
Gosh, I've got to see what happens. I have to.
And we're gonna go
Hope
ahead.
you're happy.
What's that?
I said, I hope you're happy.
I might be. Who knows? She'll start cursing at me any minute now.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and we'll take our intermission here. And I've got some more fun in store for everybody when we come back. So I will see you all in 5 minutes. Rock and roll. Be back soon.
Take care.
And welcome back, family. We've left the coterie to the garden here. I gotta switch back into the verbiage. We've left them to their own devices. Mort has gotten things situated for Kristy. Minerva's provided whatever physical restraints would be necessary to keep Kristy from leaving the room. Now the Laka retire to day sleep. Erika has plans. There was that party that her friend invited her to. And maybe that's what she's thinking about when the sun comes up and she passes into the sleep. And maybe it's the first thing on her mind when she arises. But something important happened during the day. Kristy's stayed asleep. Her physical body has gone through a very severe physical trauma. The severing of a blood bond. And she's sleeping it off. But Mort... I always ask every session what Mort does during the day. What, after Kristy was, we'll say restrained to Minerva's liking, what was Mort's game plan after the sun came up?
So this, to liken it to a new parenthood, he's got to sleep when she sleeps. If he lets her run amok while he tries to get his 6 hours throughout the middle of the day, that's when everything's going to go wrong, because that's when everything's most public. So he's going to have to adjust his sleep schedule. He's going to have to make sure that he can keep an eye on her throughout the day, taking cat naps, making sure she catches cat naps as well. But essentially, I've got to be there for her, talking.
Okay.
Getting her through this.
She's, ever since Minerva used the chloroform to knock her out, she's stayed soundly asleep. The sun rises, she stays asleep. We'll say around 8 o'clock. That's when there's a knock at the door. Kristy stayed asleep. Would Mort have tried catching a nap around this time?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would have gotten some things for her. I mean, I don't know exactly what, I don't have anything in medical, so I don't know exactly what sleeping off a chloroform is. Just anecdotally, I mean, it's like gives you the mother of all headaches. It kind of leaves you groggy. It's not
I
like
would have
you just
given
come
her
to.
another sedative, though, to keep it prolonged for a little while, so that she didn't wake up while we're sleeping and freak the fuck out and screaming during the day and such. So
Okay. So
No, I get her a bucket, some food and water, something. So and I would have slept while she was slept. So if there's a knock on my door or the front door,
it would have been the front door. Now the business hours, part of the artist in residence job, there's always someone kind of working the front end. You know, that's the gift shop / reception area. And they know to come track you down if something requires your attention. And that is indeed the case. You you hear, it starts off as a faint knocking, and then when they realize that, oh, he's asleep, that's when it becomes more insistent, and that's probably when you would wake up. Now, at the door is this young man is named Marco. He's a younger Latinx male, or at least male presenting. He's good with wood carving, and it was his week to work the front. But Marco's knocking. Hola, Senor Lambert. Hello.
And I get up, make sure I have some sort of clothes on, cast a glance to Kristy.
And she stirs a little bit at the knocking at the door, but doesn't do much.
I go to the door, crack open. Yes?
Yeah, there's someone at the front. They want to talk to the manager or someone in charge. You got some time?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I'll be up there momentarily. Please show them our hospitality.
Oh, well, will do. I've already got some coffee sitting in the lounge room. I'll have them sit there.
You are a peach, Marco.
I try.
Never change.
And Marco goes to deal with the guest. So what's Mort throwing on?
He'll probably put on some loose-fitting pants. He's gonna play. I mean, I'm gonna say he plays it up, but he doesn't have to play it up. This is what he does. And he puts on some sort of poncho and probably something like this to keep the bedhead at bay. So he does not look like a general manager of anything.
He's the everyman inside all of us.
Yeah.
Never change. But so Mort, when you go to the lounge, there's probably some, we'll say, some light jazz playing, something nice and peppy and upbeat to get the people moving during the morning hours, paired with some coffee maybe. Now, there's a woman sitting here in the lounge. You'd place her early to mid 60s. Somewhat, we'll say shoulder length, light brown hair. She looks like she hasn't slept either. Clothes are crumpled and wrinkled. Heavy bags under her eyes. She looks like she's been crying recently, actually. And you can see that she's got a manila envelope of her own. But
I'm gonna throw up that sense the unseen. I mean, yeah.
There's nothing untowards. You anytime that you use your abilities in here or in the greenhouse, you always pick up on a little bit of extra spiritual interference. She doesn't stand out in any way, shape, or form. She's very plain looking on a spiritual level. But she sees you enter and she stands up to greet you. Oh, yes. Are you are you in charge here?
I don't know if in charge is the right word, but I'm definitely somebody that can see you. Hello, my name's Mort.
Oh,
and
hi.
Hand.
Hi, and she takes your hand. Yeah, my name is Mary Nolan, and do you have a moment or two to talk?
Sure.
Okay. And she kind of sits right back down where she was seated out. You can see that Marco did get her a cup of coffee, but it's sitting untouched. It's still steaming.
I don't think that's I don't think that's rare.
Mm-hmm. So, yes, Mr. Lambert, I've got some matters of kind of a sensitive nature. I don't really get anywhere with the police anymore, and look, I don't know if you can help me or not. And she hands you the manila folder. Are you gonna open it?
I'm gonna hold it. I'm like, what is this?
Oh, there's some pictures, and I just need to know if you've seen her. Could you look, please?
Okay. I open up and I look inside, or I pull one out.
The picture is actually, you know what? Give me a intelligence and insight roll, please.
Okay.
You stop your laughing, Sam.
Insight.
I thought this is where you were going.
That's a goose egg.
It's hard to.
This means nothing to me.
The woman in the pictures. She looks familiar to you, but yeah, you can't place her. She doesn't strike you as any way, shape, or form. Yeah, you don't know the name. You don't know her? Look, that's my daughter. Her name is Lisa Nolan, and I got a phone call last night that someone think they might have saw her. And I'm just tracking down all of the leads that I can.
Sure. Lisa Nolan, you say?
Yes.
I write down the name. So I'm familiar with the area. I can definitely talk to some of our people. I can definitely take a look around outside, and we can do what we can to try to find Lisa Nolan. To find your daughter, was it?
Yes, that's my daughter.
Gosh, ma'am, I'm so sorry to hear that. You must be going through a lot right now.
She's been missing for about 10 years. She's
10 years.
She's been declared legally dead, and so the cops won't do anything anymore. And every once in a while, we get a random tip. There's an old hotline that we set up back when she first went missing. We get a phone call every once in a while, and someone says that they think that they saw her at some roadside motel over in the West End last night, and they think that she might have come here. I don't know.
It's entirely possible. I don't know in what capacity she would come here. We typically keep pretty good records of who stays with us. But if you don't mind, we can. I mean, do you have copies of the pictures that we can?
Oh, you can keep those. You can keep those.
Okay, absolutely. Thank you.
And my in the envelope is my business card. It's got my name, my phone number, and my email address. If you hear anything, please get back in contact with me. I would really appreciate it.
And what was your name, ma'am?
The last name is Nolan, and I totally spaced.
You said Mary.
I thought it was Mary.
Mary.
I thought it was Mary. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Mary. Right. Wrote down the one name, but forgot to write down the other one. Just ST things, I guess.
I collect NPCs, man. They're my favorite way to fuck with STs.
So, she picks up on the fact that she's run out of road here. She stands up and she offers you her hand again. So yes, Mary Nolan, my daughter, if you see her, please get in contact with me.
Of course.
Do you have a card that I can call you back at? There would be up at the till. There's going to be like the generic, like, the painted garden.
Generic one is what I'm doing. Yeah, it's like it's not for me. It goes to a hotline, like a email. A general email box goes to a voicemail box that's checked once a day, twice a day, maybe.
Oh, okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'll I
don't tell her all that. I just let it.
Oh, okay. Well, the young man up at the front, he's been taking really good care of me while I've been waiting. So I just wanted to, if you're paying him, he deserves a raise.
Oh, you, Marco is an outstanding young man. I will pass on the compliment.
Oh, thank you. And she turns to leave. What's Mort going to be doing with this information here, with the picture and the contact info? What's he going to be doing with this?
Well, I'm going to talk to Marco to see exactly who else she talked to in depth about how far.
Okay.
So I'll find Marco. It's like, Marco.
Well, he's actually waiting for you back up front after he's seen to Mary. He's going to. He's waiting for you. Oh, Senor Lambert. Yes. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it was a poor, distraught mother looking for her daughter.
Yeah, sad story.
Did she talk to you about that?
Yeah, she went missing like 10 years ago, and family just they've been looking everywhere for her.
Yeah,
like everywhere.
So you spoke to her then?
I mean, a little bit. She told me the same story that she probably tells everyone else.
Okay,
but,
perfect. Thank you.
No, they're. I don't know, man. Just. It's sad to see,
it truly is.
But Yeah. Look, is there?
I mean, we'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out in the community, I suppose, and get back with her if we find something.
Okay. Yeah. That. Yeah. I'm gonna keep my eye out too. You never know.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey. I've got to put away groceries, and do you want me to like make sure that no one fucks with you the rest of the day? You look like shit, man.
It was kind of rough. We all have those nights.
Yeah. No, I know what you mean. I hear what that blonde one does. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's yeah, man. I'd have a hard time sleeping too if I have to. Yeah, she's loud.
This is Mort laughing. Oh man. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'll tell you what, man. You get some sleep. I'm gonna make sure no one fucks with you, and I'm gonna have Kit put together some pancakes or something for you. You deserve it, man. You bust your ass, and you take care of us.
Thank you for saying so, Marco.
Man, respect. And he goes about his business. We can go ahead and fast forward here. Now, nothing else untoward happens unless Mort wants to do anything else with the stuff.
No, I'm gonna put it safely where Marco can't find it, and I'm also gonna throw the deadbolt because no, he's a nice guy, but God damn, I'm paranoid as shit. As soon as there's a spotlight on it, I'm like, fuck. So,
Mort's room would actually be a good place to keep the documents there.
So, oh, of course, and yes.
And Mort, you no sooner hit your head hits the pillow and you are out.
Mm-hmm.
And sleep comes.
I've arranged. Can I craft something? Can I craft?
Yeah. What do you want to craft?
I want to craft some sort of like pillowcase or sheet to one of Kristy's appendages directly to my wrist. So if anything,
if she moves, you'll.
Up,
oh yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
That easily done. Easily done. I'm not going to have you roll it. That's fine.
Okay.
So yeah, if she would stir and get up in the middle of the day, you would know.
Okay.
But she doesn't. She sleeps soundly through the rest of the day.
God damn. Like Minerva is like an anesthetist in her past life.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. But
maybe. Could be.
The sun sets. Those of you, Laka, who are, I highly doubt I have anyone Humanity 8 or higher, rouses an hour before sunrise. Humanity 7 is when the sun sets. Anything lower gets progressively later in the night. But you all eventually awaken from day sleep. Laka, go ahead and give me your rouse checks. Okay, so that's a fail for Rose. For Erika. Dory passes. And Minerva passes. I see what you left me in the Zoom chat there, Dory. Yes, that works. That's cool. Now, Mort almost instinctively knows at this point when the sun goes down, his body is in tune with his mistress. He feels her stir in his chest. She is awake, and so now Mort is awake. Kristy is starting to stir. She's whimpering. Mort, it smells. Mort's going to have to change his betting. The unfortunate reality of the situation. But
I mean, we're trying to dry out a junkie.
mm-hmm.
What do we expect?
Mm-hmm. Now, the Laka here. What all are we doing as the sun sets? And we'll start with Minerva.
When Minerva wakes, she is going to, of course, get dressed and start preparing, with her bag. She's going to run an errand to collect some supplies that she needs.
Okay.
And that's pretty much it.
And you're gonna get the murder bag.
Yes, the murder bag.
The murder purse. It was the murder purse. The murder purse.
It's like an old school doctor bag, like the leather case that they use, but it's got a strap so that she can strap it, like a messenger bag almost.
It was like a
made out
necro
of
clutch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it's made out of flesh.
Yes. Now, Minerva, you're planning on basically, I don't want to say sneak out, but you're just kind of doing this of your own volition. You're like, okay, this is the very first thing that I have to do okay.
Yeah, she's not sneaking or anything. She's just doing.
Okay.
I don't think her and Dory are chatting over coffee as the sun sets. Oh, hey, girl,
Right.
what'd you dream about? No, there's no pleasantries exchanged.
Nah.
Oh, what's Dory doing when the sun rises or sunsets?
I would point
Yes.
out, because I don't know that it was ever mentioned, the murder bag has been thoroughly tanned, so it's not flesh toned.
It's a black it's a black bag.
Yeah.
Just don't feel the texture. So what's
Look too closely at the clasps.
what's Dory gonna be doing?
So Dory begins with her typical rituals, the makeup, the clothes. She reads and recites the oath. She, I think, is even more fastidious, I think, with her makeup and clothes, since it was all kind of ruined the other night.
Mm-hmm.
And Toreador we don't like that. So she's kind of attending to her clothes, and then she's getting ready to sort of do some information gathering about the church, about potentially the individuals in the picture. And so she might be going through her phone, looking at contacts, like on the street, near the area that she might know that would have an idea about what goes on at nights during the church. I do think that she at least wants to witness Kristy, like just see her. As soon as all of those short rituals are done, she wants to go over to Mort's chambers and just be like, see what's going on.
Okay. And what is Erika doing?
Erika rises, and she has a copy of the good book that Doriana gave to her, and she is going to dive right in as she's making up in the morning or for the evening, especially for the intended events. Sends a quick text to a certain someone.
What does that text say?
Need a lift, help a girl out, winky face, and then the kissy emoji.
You get
And a black heart.
You get a motorcycle emoji back, a whip emoji, and XOXO.
And she looks at it and just, damn right. Sends the TY, and then continues her routine of getting ready and reading of the book. When she finishes the passage, she dresses in sort of like mini velvet go-go dress, fishnets,
She's
like go-go boots. She's going to party, but she's also getting comfy.
Mm-hmm. So, we'll say Minerva, you managed to slip out unnoticed from the rest of the sisters. You walk the back streets. You know the mortician that you need to speak to. It's been a while since you've come a calling. Maybe he's got what he needs for you. You go to the back service door of the funeral home. And you've got a coded knock worked out with the mortician. You give your side of the knock, they reply back, and the door opens. This mortician, he's a short, pudgy, balding man. Think, if you go and you look in the sitcoms, the stereotypical middle-aged, miserable white male, maybe a little bit of dash of George Costanza-esque vibe in the mix. But just, he's a very unpleasant, miserable man. Hello.
She puts her bag out.
Okay. One moment. And he leaves the door open and he walks into trick or treat.
Yep.
Oh, Rose just dropped a trick or treat in the Zoom chat. Thank you. That was.
Yeah, she just has her bag out like.
And he actually he's got a lit cigarette dangling from his mouth, and he's got a actually a large blue cooler in tow behind him. All right, and he harumps down. He gets into the cooler, and there's a heart, there's a brain, a liver, a couple of kidneys, a spleen, and a pancreas. This is a good haul. This is a lot of stuff. And that's all I got. Look, we got to stop doing this. It's the next time's the last time. All right.
She just looks at him. Just stares. No.
And he actually he is visibly shaken by this. And he turns as white as a sheet. He makes water. And he just simply slowly closes the door.
And she turns and heads back to the garden.
It's the same every month. So, God damn it. Thank you. That wasn't creepy at all. So, we're going to go ahead. And so, Dory, you're checking in on Mort. Mort, she's not thrashing, but she's in the bed. And Dory, do you bother knocking or do you just step in?
I just step in.
I would still have it bolted. She will need to knock.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
You can knock the door down if you want.
No.
If we have prisoners in my room, I don't want housekeeping finding them.
I forgot about the deadbolt. You're fine. I'll knock forcefully.
And maybe you actually try the door, and then there is that actual little flash of how dare he, and then you realize, oh wait, he's got.
I remember that. Mm-hmm. What's going on? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Mort opens the door. Kristy's in a miserable state.
Okay.
She's still in her clothes. As I said, the bedding is going to need to be changed. The room, prickles at Dory's Toreador sensibilities, and you're going to be suffering the penalty as long as you're in this room.
Oh, man. All right, fine. It makes sense.
Madame Dory. She is rousing. We have food for her. We have water for her. I don't know the symptoms that she will experience, but I'm sure I will be illuminated. We will need additional clothing of some sort and dressing. We will need to clean up. But it has been a largely uneventful night. Or day.
I'll be interested to see how things progress. The calm before the storm, possibly. New bedding, and ask one of the artists here of her approximate size. I'm sure there are some extra clothes. I know there are some sort of plain linen garments in some closet here somewhere. If you need additional resources, you'll have them.
I've known enough artists that will sacrifice everything they own not to pay the studio fee.
Very much so.
Not a lot. There's a few. We will find something.
And Dory just is looking over Kristy and just sort of like observing her.
It's probably
maybe
it's probably quite the sight, because it will be me and you sharing the same space, just looking at Kristy.
Mm-hmm.
Probably some sort of pity or disgust, and just like, what do we do now?
And Kristy's starting to get up. Oh, my fucking head. Oh, Marty, where's Marty? And she snaps awake, and she realizes where she is and the state that she's in. And she looks back up at Dory and Mort, just completely shell-shocked. And
Kristy,
Huh? What?
Listen to me. Listen to my voice, Kristy.
Yeah.
I try to be like smooth, like a sing-song voice a little bit.
Charisma plus performance. Soothe the savage beast.
All right. I've got 3. Just I need you to calm down. Get with me. You are safe.
I'm safe
here. This is the first time you've been safe in a very long time.
Okay.
You've had quite the evening. We will definitely get you cleaned up. We will make you presentable and proud. And we have food for you to eat. And some headache medicine. It sounds like you have quite the headache.
Splitting.
And we have the receptacle for anything that you need. But what we need you to do is stay here. You are safe with us.
And she's, as soon as you said receptacle, you could see that she started zoning you out and actually started looking for the bucket. And as you finish talking, that's when she starts throwing up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Dory walks out.
I will hold her hair back. Whatever I need to do. It's
And
This woman's having a hard time of it.
Mm-hmm.
A hard time, and things will never be the same for her.
Erika is done getting herself looking like a Cali dime. And Minerva slinks back into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And we could say that the three Laka, you all can reconnoiter in the lounge, as is kind of customary once you've all... This is the communal meeting place once the sisters have prepared themselves for each night.
Yeah, I have dropped off my supplies, and then I'll head to the common area. Before I do that, can I go by Mort's room?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you might actually pass Dory in the hall.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna walk
Okay.
past, and head to Mort's room.
And Dory, you see Minerva go past, and she's clearly on a mission.
Dory's content to let Minerva do what she wants to do.
So is Mort's door locked?
Yeah.
It is. I'm gonna try the knob, and if it doesn't open, she's going to beat on it very forcefully.
out of habit, he looks to hide his weed, I guess. That's a police knock.
Uh-huh. Mort knows the knock too. Mort knows when the Minerva has a very static staccato with her knock.
Yeah. I look at Kristy, it's like, we have another visitor.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to stay calm.
Okay, I'll be calm.
So I go, crack open the door, see it's Minerva. Yes, mistress?
Open.
Of course.
Mort lets her in. Mort, you want to go ahead and give me a intelligence and insight roll, please?
Sure.
Okay.
Insight. Okay. I got a 2.
That's where you know the girl in the picture from. It's Minerva. Younger. Looking alive.
I knew that's what you were going with.
It clicks.
Yeah, it's like
And so Mort's got that sledgehammer that just hit him in the chest. And Minerva is standing there in the entryway.
I move him aside and walk past. And I go over to Kristy, and I will take my glove off, and I'm going to use the claw, and I'm going to slice my wrist and put it to her mouth.
Her eyes shoot wide, and she doesn't even register the fact that she's feeding from someone who looks like a walking corpse, practically. The red stuff is all that matters. Gotta get the red. And she latches on. She's trained. She knows when to stop. She breaks off.
Pull back. Put my glove back on. And then I walk out.
And Kristy's looking at you, Mort. I'm better now. I'm better now.
Mistress Minerva.
You hear Mort's voice behind you as you're walking back down the hall. Do you stop?
For like a second, I just stop. I don't move. Just stop.
Was it when I said Minerva, or what is it when I said Lisa?
All right,
I did not hear Lisa.
Yeah, we didn't hear you say Lisa either.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I would have said Mistress Minerva, and then I would have just said like lower Lisa.
I would have stopped at Minerva.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I would not have said Lisa. Okay.
And just paused for a minute. And turned my head slowly back around to look. Not saying anything, just waiting to see if you're going to say anything. If you don't, I will continue.
You had a visitor today. How much about your situation do I know? I assume very, very little.
Probably not anything.
Not anything at all.
Okay.
Other than she is a vampire that you know is Minerva.
Yeah. You don't confide in me.
Yeah. You know that there's something weird about me because you can see it with the unseen. That's about it.
Right, yeah.
Or, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Your mother came looking for you. And then it dawns on me. Shit, Marco.
What about Marco?
I don't know if Marco's seen the pictures or not.
You don't know. If she didn't say, Marco didn't say, you don't know. You know, all you know right now is that Marco knows the story. That Mary is looking for her missing daughter.
But if Marco saw the pictures, he could probably put it together that it's one of the people that live in the house.
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah, anyway, that's all internal monologue.
Mm-hmm. I
would just say, your mother's looking for you. Or you had a visitor. You said who? Yeah, your mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she just turns and continues to walk.
Okay.
And Erika and Dory are down in the lounge.
Erika would be getting her sort of padded leather jacket on, as well as her gloves, sort of indicating she's going to be going out.
You look nice.
Oh, I thank you, sister.
Where are you going this evening?
I need to feed the hunger strikes.
Seeing anyone interesting?
Do you remember the bike that I came in on?
Yeah, vaguely.
Well, the person who drives it.
Right. Don't get too attached now.
Sister, I need a night of
debauchery.
I killed a man yesterday. I need a night to... I need a night to revel. To celebrate with myself and... and see where it goes from there.
And Doriana approaches Erika and sort of takes one of the lovely blonde curls right near her face and sort of pulls it and let it bounce back. It's funny. All the debauchery, people think it's somehow new. But in 1920s New York, we were doing everything and more. And 200 years before that, they were doing it. And 200 years before that. These are the methods of the kind. And us. as it serves us. You enjoy this night because soon your greater calling is coming.
I'm aware of this, sister.
And you hear the vroom, vroom, vroom outside of the motorcycle.
Well then, debauchery awaits.
And Erika, you step out into the night, and there's Cappy on his bike. He's got on some nice form-fitting riding leathers. He's got a black sleek helmet on. He's looking pretty tasty tonight.
In more ways than one.
And
she's gonna hop on down the steps the way she does. No, she's gonna saunter down slowly like she does. Sauntering over with a little bit of speed. They're heading out and they're getting to a place relatively fashionably late and on time.
Mm-hmm.
She hops on, makes sure I'm sort of on the back seat. Gets her helmet on because safety. And
And Erika knew that she'd be riding on the back of the bike, and she chose her outfit appropriately.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But you get to the party, and it's in the basement of an older apartment building. There's a certain element that you get when the rich slum it, and they play at being stretched a little too thin, both financially, romantically, sexually. It's all just set dressing. And like Dory said, this is the same things happen year after year. Just the faces, the names change. Whether you all are worshiping Lilith or Bacchus or some other type of divine being, we know who Erika worships. Whether or not anyone else at this party feels the same primal connection to the spiritual that you do remains to be seen. But the party is all darkness and black light. There's a thump, thump, thump of a sound system playing in the background. Moans, whispers, cries of pleasure and pain all commingle together. Erika is in her element. This is where the predator feeds.
She's also going to allow Dory's words sort of to permeate, and when she takes in the space, she kind of lets her mind wander a little bit to like how different the space would have been 200 years before that, 200 years before that. She looks at the man who brought her here and what he might have looked like 200 years. She imagines the other person she might have been 200 years. It all kind of just sets in. Her look kind of just lingers on Cappy for a minute when she's just in thought.
And he catches your gaze and he kind of smiles almost nervously, but also anticipating the next several hours. And the two of you make your way through the party. You recognize some of the faces. You recognize some of the bodies, just because sometimes there are those who ride the gimmick and they wear the mask. But you swim in these waters just briefly before you get a sense of whose party this actually is. And there is a young man, Mediterranean features, bald. And he's wearing a pair of very loose-fitting silk, almost harem pants, no shirt. Very athletic, no body hair. He catches your gaze. And he smiles. You catch a hint of fang in that smile. He gestures for you to join him.
You'll excuse me, Cappy.
He kind of, and he goes back to looking at the spectacle in the next room over. And it hurts you to look away as well, but are you approaching this mysterious bald man?
Mm-hmm. He's very against type, I might add, out of character.
Mm-hmm. He commands the corner of the room that he is currently residing in. He has no other attendants with him. He seems to be just taking in the mood and the atmosphere just like everyone else. He's seated on a very soft floor mattress. It's the kind that you would sink into if you would let yourself do so. Are you going to join him on the floor, or are you just going to stand there and hover?
She's going to stand.
And he looks
and
up
just
at you.
Make him look at him just like...
Hello. I don't recognize you. You're new here, aren't you?
Maybe I am.
Or maybe we just don't run in the same circles.
That's probably it.
My name is Claudius, by the way.
At this, she joins him on the floor. Doesn't extend a hand, she just says, Mistress Todd.
Yes, I know who you are. I've heard of you anyway.
Oh, really? So is this business or is this pleasure? Considering the atmosphere, I'm sure it's one or the other. Perhaps both? Perhaps business of pleasure or business gets you off.
See, your people and my people, we tend to get along somewhat well, and we all dip our toes in the same pools from time to time, and so I think you and I think we get along well enough, having a little bit of business and pleasure, wouldn't you say?
Certainly. My business is to myself, and to this evening, and to the company that brought me here. What's yours?
I'm here to have a good time.
Then it seems our feelings are mutual.
Yes, but the roll of the dice and the twists of fate have seen to have one of the Bahari attend one of my parties. I've never seen you, as I've said, but you and your sisters have a bit of a reputation.
I'm not sure if I'm, what sort of tone does he say that in?
Sly. Not hostile, at least from what you can sense.
Oh, you flatterer.
Look, I just want to let you know that you can indulge yourself here at my party to your heart's content. Just don't kill anyone.
Not the intention tonight.
And I want to let you know that I bear you and your sisters no ill will for what happened to one of my cousins last night. Word travels quickly in this city. Martinius was an idiot.
And how?
Did he suffer?
Oh, most certainly.
As one would expect from the Bahari. Do tell Mother Wren, though, that I would like to pay her a visit sometime. Let her know that her old friend Claudius wishes to take her out dancing.
I will pass the message along. But no, I cannot speak for her behalf. I will pass the message along.
Understand. Now, go play, little one. And he shoos you off.
And she gets up, looks, as she turns away, she kind of like rolls her eyes and just shakes her head. Little one, jeez, work on your tailor, Grandpa.
And we can say that Erika, you can, I mean, as long as you're willing to abide by Claudius's mandate and not kill anyone, you can go all the way down to Hunger 1 tonight.
Okay.
We'll do a fade to black as Erika and Cappy do their thing in this. We don't need to go into detail.
In this little playground.
We know what kind of place is this and what's going on here.
We can just let our imaginations go with this one. I'm cool. I'm just gonna also write down Claudius's name in his little message at the moment.
Yes. And for the final scene tonight, we're gonna go ahead and switch back over to the garden. So Dory, Erika left you for the night's festivities. Minerva, what was your intention after Mort passed on that information to you?
I would have liked to have gone to find Dory, actually.
And maybe Minerva, maybe you hear the vroom 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 of the motorcycle, and you leave. Erika leaves just a minute or two before you enter the lounge, and you can see Doriana maybe to be young again as Erika goes off into the night.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of that wistfulness.
Minerva, complete straight face. She just walks over to Dory. I gave her my blood. I am curious.
To calm her. To keep her quiet.
No. Two bloods. She is detoxing from his. I am curious what will happen with mine competing against his bond.
And Dory kind of mulls that over in her brain. Not necessarily something she would have thought about, kind of this grand experiment. It definitely piques her interest. And she kind of just is just looking at her hands. The blood of a snake. The blood of families long dead and gone. I too am curious.
She can suffer, and your point can be made to him after.
I do like the idea of this morphing, suffering, this augmented perhaps by your potent and unique vitae. And he will learn. And together, we've brought him an even greater lesson. And she definitely is regarding Minerva with some serious respect in this moment, because I don't think she really expected Minerva to necessarily intervene any further than providing the restraints, especially since I sort of put the kibosh on her fun in the basement. So I think she's really she's vibing with this experiment.
And there's been in the past when Ren was first getting, or Mother Ren was first getting things rolling with this garden, there's always been a we'll say a professional curiosity between Dory's blood magic and the practicing thereof and Minerva's use of the abyss. And there's always been this equivalent exchange of information, and they've always taken the opportunity to run experiments. And this is probably something that Dory and Minerva are. Yeah, they're definitely behind this one.
Yeah, ultimate tag team.
Mm-hmm.
And Minerva will give her a nod, and before she leaves, she's going to say, you should know. He lied to me. I have no mother. And then she's just going to slowly back away and turn and start to head towards her basement.
Does Dory want to follow up on that?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that means nothing to Dory.
Yeah. But first, I think if there's just some kind of like table or desk in the lounge, she wants to, before following that thread, sit down where she has the manila envelope and the photographs that were sent over last night, and she's going to just really study them and look at them. And the storyteller, I would like to provoke a premonition, please.
Go ahead and make your rouse check, please.
Yep. And then I have a pool, but I don't know if that's something I roll.
Don't bother.
I don't think so. Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to check. I passed.
You call upon the powers of your blood to see through the web of fate. You cut through the strands with the scythe given to you in your mind by the Dark Mother. All is clear in your head. You see flashes of Sheriff Ubier slaughtering thin bloods in the name of Cain. And setting them to the torch. The literal torch. You get the sense of somewhere north of town, there was a pyre somewhere. There's going to be another pyre in the future as Sheriff Ubier continues his work. Culling the thin bloods, purging them of their affront against Cain. Wielding the heavy iron fist of dogma, Bishop Yehoshua holding a leash around their neck like an attack dog, blood dripping from the hand that holds the leash. And then Bishop Yehoshua is elevated on a burning cross. The fire consumes her. The ashes form a throne. And on this throne sits a gold crown. But you see, before the vision goes, you see maybe the flash of fire melting the crown and turning it to ash before your vision clears. You shake your head to clear the threads, and then you are back.
And Dory, in her sort of, borderline almost like apothecary like belt that she wears, she produces like a small like moleskin notebook and kind of writes down her impressions of the premonition, so that she can kind of think on it a little bit after she's fully back and present, after that delve. And then I do think that Minerva's words and mother are just sort of echoing in her head. And if we have time, Dory will return to where Mort is in the room.
We could have one more little quick scene here, yes.
Okay. So she'll go and she'll just lightly knock.
Kristy has fallen back asleep, having been sated. She's enjoying her high, and she's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you in.
Okay. And Dory looks at Kristy with kind of an unreadable expression and just for sort of like a second, and then she looks back to Mort.
I'm already looking for the manila envelope. Like, now that I've made this connection, I was going to come get you anyway.
Okay. And I guess she sees Mort sort of like getting that stuff, and she said, Minerva said something very interesting to me. She said, I have no mother, and referenced some interaction that you had.
We had somebody come to the office or the building earlier today, during the day, referencing that they were a mother of a lost person, and that the person was seen the person was seen at a motel, and that they had heard that they were here. And so she dropped off these pictures. At the time, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just somebody, but here are the pictures. And it just occurred to me that these are pictures of Minerva when she was alive, and the person claimed to be her mother. Now, Minerva is not the warmest to me, so I do not know how old she is or her backstory, but it is possible that this came from her mother. But she's saying she has no mother, whatever that means.
And Dory definitely is kind of contemplative, like off into the distance, trying to figure out how to explain this in some way. And she says, with Minerva, there are many layers, each one darker, deeper, branching off into hundreds and thousands of branches on a decaying tree, reaching back potentially centuries. Her mother, or this person that you saw today, simply a connection to perhaps one of the more superficial layers of Minerva's identity. But Minerva speaks truthfully. She has no mother. She is a product of the tree and the intertwining branches that are impossible to straighten and untangle.
I look concerned. Mistress Dory, these are semantics, though. Somebody sent this woman here looking for the husk that is Minerva. This threatens our garden.
Now, storyteller.
Yes.
This picture that Mary provided, in terms of what is the I understand that Mort can look at it and eventually made the connection that, oh, this looks like Minerva.
Yes.
But is Minerva here in present day? she looks kind of different, I would imagine. Like there's significant, like,
and I flopped it. I got a 0.
corpse.
So
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out how different they actually look, like how different the picture looks from her current appearance is basically what I'm trying to determine.
Right. So Minerva's current physical appearance, they're not as corpse-like as the Samdi, but the Harbingers of Skulls do have a corpse-like appearance. She cannot pass as a living mortal.
Right.
The thing with the picture, you can tell that it's her, but she looks more alive, more full, to where Minerva now is a dried up husk of a human being. Lisa, full figured, bright, smiling. The picture's actually it's kind of an artsy shot. She's sitting on a picnic blanket underneath a willow tree of all things, just kind of looking at the camera. Like you get the sense that these aren't like high school senior pictures. These are something more. These were more like vanity photos, maybe taken like late college.
Okay, cool. Thank you for that elaboration. And so Dory is staring into this picture. You're right, Mort, that this could be a problem. But please, I understand that I get caught up in the metaphors and the semantics, but even I do not understand the particulars. Minerva is not Minerva. Lisa is not Minerva. It is a coagulation. It is an amalgamation. It is something beyond most of our understanding. Any connection that exists between the Minerva that walks in the painted garden and the kind in this picture, those bonds are gone. The light is dead. The connection is severed. So this woman must be driven away, meaning Mary. Does anyone else know about? Has anyone seen the pictures? Did anyone else hear about this?
Marco spoke to Mary, but it's unclear if he saw the pictures.
You know Marco. Marco's a good kid.
He has to forget. It doesn't matter how much he saw or heard. I will speak to Erika. She has the power necessary to modify his memory so that he never saw the pictures. He never spoke to her. So any remaining connections besides the one that you have with her will be cut off.
Understood. And just so we're clear, my reticence is not meant to cast aspersions at Minerva. My duty is to you and to her and to Erika and to the garden. My paranoia comes from Mary being sent here looking for Minerva.
And Dory at that moment kind of hooks her thumbs in his tank top, and she says, and she truly, the most ghastly, ghoulish smile that she can possibly muster in that moment. You know better than to cast dispersions on Minerva. I don't think you would do that. You know better. I understand that. But you're right to think of our safety, which is why it ends now, and not a word of it more will be spoken to Minerva, to Erika, to anyone else.
I agree. I will also keep my ear to the ground in case any other such coincidences continue to arise.
The only thing, sorry, just one last thing.
Yeah.
The only thing that we need to determine is who saw Minerva and why did they tell Mary?
They don't even need to have seen her. They just need to know she was there.
Still, the information passed hands. We need to understand who it was.
And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Ooh, boy.
Yes. I love throwing hand grenades at my people every once in a while. It's good shit.
Mort's like jumping out of his skin. He's like, we're in danger. And Dory's like, don't talk about it. He's like, but we're in danger.
Forget about it.
Inside, I see the crack in Dory's veneer, though. I see it. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and we'll do our outros. Go ahead, tell us who you are, what you're doing, where you're at, and we'll go reverse order, and we'll go with Sam.
Oh, hi. Samantha McClarty. I have been playing Minerva, the creepy fucking Hakata. I have a link tree somewhere. So follow socials and you'll see all the other crazy shit that I'm going to be doing. I'm working on a game or two, but scheduling's been kind of a pain in the ass, so we'll see when those play out. You can find me on Vancouver Adjacent by Night on Saturdays. What time was it?
2 p.m. Central.
2 p.m. Central, yes. Sorry, we had a time change and it's got me all kind of messed up. Other than that, you can find me, like, I do a lot of stuff with Martlet and one shots galore, and just follow the links in the link tree, and there you go. You'll be able to see all the crazy shit that I'm doing if you do that. Mm-hmm. That's me.
Next up is Sarah.
Hey, my name's Sarah. You can find me on Twitter at MC Diabetes. I'm a creative partner at Martlet Games. I'm still in my status as Weekend Warrior for the Vancouver by Night channel. You would have seen the finale for the bespoke horror series by Lex called Skin Deep. I really encourage you to check that out on YouTube. It's the last episode, I'm sure, will be dropping soon there. We're going to have a cast Q&A this Friday. And then Saturday, there's the Vampire Takeover, which Sam mentioned. She's in Vancouver Adjacent by Night. I'm in Vancouver by Night Delve into Darkness, which is right after Adjacent. So you get a full day of Vampire there. And then on Sunday, I'm in a D&D 5e game called Phandalin by Night, also with Vancouver by Night. That's my first long-running D&D campaign I've ever played in, so it's a huge learning experience for me. It's been really fun. The cast is super special, so please check that out on Vancouver by Night on Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific. Other than that, there's definitely some more stuff in the works. So just follow Martlet on all the socials, follow the MC Diabetes Twitter, and you'll see it there. And thank you for watching. See you next time.
Mm-hmm. And next up is Ben.
My name is Ben. I've been playing Mortimer Lambert. I've been having a great time. You can find me at Martlet and probably nowhere else. But we're having a good time while we're here.
Ben's our secret weapon. Ben isn't involved in the socials, but anytime Ben gets into a game, he just goes ham, and we have a great time, and I love it. Finally, we've got Rose.
Last but certainly not least, I hope.
I don't like saying that because it always implies like an order of importance, and I just like saying finally just because.
Works for me.
Yes.
Works for me. I'll take it. Never mind. Forget what I said.
So finally, Rose.
Take two. I am Rose. I was playing Erika, the sexy and sadistic Ventru dominatrix.
Oh, keep
if
sexy.
You like what you see.
Keep sexy.
Sassy. She's sexy.
I'm sorry. I'll
sexy and sassy. It's fine. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rose_Bulbasaur and on TikTok at Rose Bulbasaur. If you like what I do, I also have a Ko-fi that is actually in some of the links, which I believe is in the chat. If not, you can find on my socials. I am in also Vancouver by night, actually. Playing Toronto by day, Tales of the Rookery on Wednesdays, playing Changeling the Dreaming as a purple-haired Selkie, and I'm also actually just recently minted creative partner at Martlet Games as well, and you'll probably be seeing a lot more of me very, very, very soon on more of Martlet channels. Keep in touch with all my socials, and you'll find out what I'm doing.
And I'm Patrick Gill, the creative director here at Martlet Games. This Bloody Garden here on the Onyx Path Twitch. We've got tons of stuff hitting our channel. We've got Mondays. We've got Terminal Black, which is our 10 Candles anthology. That's probably going to be done-ish by the time that this episode hits. But there will be relevant links and whatnot. We've got this game on Tuesdays, and then Thursdays on the Martlet Games channel we have Psychopomps Incorporated, which is a sister show to this Bloody Garden. Over here we've got the Bahari. Over on Psychopomps we've got an All Hakata coterie, and we're having a grand old time over there, so definitely it'd be appreciated if you check it out. You'll get the VODs for these here on the Onyx Path Twitch, but otherwise, we've got lots of stuff. Just keep an eye on the socials. Things are popping off everywhere. I don't think I missed anything. We've already talked about all of the Vancouver adjacent and delves and all of the other fun Saturday stuff. That's it. We're done with the outros. It's always a cavalcade of information. But I'd like to thank you all for
terrible
watching.
At outros.
It's just blah. But anyways, good night, everybody. We love you. Stay tight for a raid.
Bye.
Good night.
Sweet dreams.
Good night. Take care.